Yellowstone is a land sculpted by elemental forces, where the Earth's crust is thin and restless, and the landscape is shaped by the legacy of cataclysmic eruptions and relentless geological upheaval. The park's very foundation is a testament to the planet's raw, untamed power, its surface fractured and uplifted by the immense pressure of a supervolcano simmering far below. Here, the ground pulses with energy, sending columns of scalding steam and boiling water skyward from geysers, while hot springs bubble and churn, their surfaces painted with vibrant hues by heat-loving microbes. Geothermal energy sculpts the terrain into a surreal mosaic of color and texture, pools rimmed with orange, yellow, and turquoise, and rocky outcrops etched by centuries of acidic steam. In this realm, boiling water bursts from the Earth's crust, mere steps from rivers locked in winter's icy grip, while ancient forests of pine and fir endure the ceaseless cycle of destruction and renewal imposed by fire, frost, and mineral-laden waters. This extraordinary environment dictates the rhythm of existence for every creature within its bounds, from the smallest insect clinging to a blade of grass near a steaming vent, to the bison and elk that roam the open valleys and dense forests. Yellowstone is a living theatre, its stage transformed by the relentless march of the seasons, each one bringing dramatic shifts in colour, temperature, and the very fabric of life. Every season presents a new set of challenges and opportunities, compelling wildlife to adapt with ingenious strategies, some seeking warmth in geothermal refuges, others timing migrations to the pulse of melting snow and budding meadows. Winter descends with a heavy silence, blanketing valleys and forests in deep snow, transforming rivers into ribbons of ice and testing the endurance of every living thing that remains. As spring arrives, the land awakens in a surge of color and life. Meadows erupt with wildflowers, rivers swell with snowmelt, and the air is filled with the calls of newborn animals exploring a world reborn. Summer brings long, golden days and a surge of growth, but also the ever-present threat of wildfire, flames that race across the landscape, clearing the way for new life and reshaping the forest mosaic. Autumn cloaks the land in a tapestry of gold and amber, as aspen and cottonwood leaves shimmer in the breeze, and the air fills with the echoes of elk bugling and the clash of antlers in ancient contests of strength. To understand Yellowstone is to witness this endless cycle of transformation, each season layering new textures, colors, and stories upon the land. The lives of Yellowstone's animals are woven into this seasonal tapestry, their movements and survival dictated by the shifting availability of food, shelter, and the subtle cues of changing light and temperature. Every behavior, every migration, and every moment of survival is choreographed by the interplay of abundance and scarcity, the severity of the elements, and the ever-present tension between predator and prey. To witness a year in this magnificent wilderness is to see nature revealed in its most elemental form, where water, fire, ice, and stone converge in a spectacle of constant change. It is a story of resilience and adaptation, of intricate connections that bind every living thing in a perpetual drama, one that unfolds with neither beginning nor end, but with endless variation and wonder. This journey will guide you through the unfolding year, revealing the hidden marvels and subtle transformations that define Yellowstone's wild heart. We will explore how Yellowstone's iconic animals, the mighty bison, the elegant elk, the elusive wolf, and the industrious beaver, navigate the extremes of their environment, each uniquely adapted to the challenges of this dynamic land. We will witness moments of tenderness as new life emerges, and scenes of fierce competition as rivals vie for dominance, all set against the backdrop of a landscape in perpetual flux. Through their stories, we gain a deeper appreciation for the complex web of life that makes Yellowstone extraordinary, and for the timeless struggle for survival that defines the natural world in this land of fire and ice. When winter descends upon Yellowstone, It does so with an absolute and uncompromising authority. The landscape is transformed into a realm of extremes, where only the most resilient can endure. The world becomes a monochromatic tapestry of white and shadow, where the silence is profound, broken only by the whisper of the wind or the distant haunting howl of a wolf echoing through the trees. Every sound is amplified in the cold, crisp air, and every movement leaves a story written in the snow. Temperatures plunge to staggering lows, often reaching -40 degrees. Frost clings to every branch, and the rivers slow beneath thickening ice. The air itself seems to crystallize, making each breath a visible plume. For Yellowstone's wildlife, this is the ultimate test, a season where survival is not guaranteed, but must be earned through relentless perseverance and remarkable adaptation. Every calorie is precious, every movement deliberate. Animals must balance the need to find food with the risk of expending too much energy, as even a single miscalculation can mean the difference between life and death. Deep snow and biting winds create formidable barriers. Many animals develop specialized behaviors. Some travel in single file to conserve energy, while others use wind-sheltered valleys or dense forests as natural shields against the elements. The bison, a living relic from the last ice age, is uniquely equipped for this ordeal. Its massive frame and powerful muscles allow it to withstand the cold and push through snow that would trap lesser creatures. A dense, woolly undercoat and long, shaggy guard hairs provide exceptional insulation, trapping heat close to the body. Frost often forms on their fur, a testament to the warmth retained beneath. To conserve energy, bison slow their metabolism, entering a state of near hibernation while remaining upright. They stand motionless for hours, minimizing heat loss and waiting for the worst of the storm to pass. When hunger compels them, bison use their massive heads as living snowplows, swinging side to side to clear snow and reveal the hidden grasses below. This behavior is crucial, as it allows them to access food sources unavailable to most other grazers. The forage they uncover is meager, often little more than dry stems and roots, but their digestive systems are adapted to extract every possible nutrient, allowing them to survive on what others cannot. For elk, winter brings a different set of challenges. Their large herds offer some protection, but also increase competition for scarce resources. Many bull elk enter winter already depleted, having spent the autumn rut battling rivals and defending harems. Their reserves are low, making them especially vulnerable to the cold and to predators. As snow accumulates in the high country, elk undertake long migrations, moving to lower elevations where food is more accessible and snow is less deep. These journeys are arduous, requiring careful navigation of icy slopes and swollen rivers. Some elk risk venturing near the park's boundaries, seeking out wind-blown ridges or south-facing slopes where vegetation is exposed. Others gather in sheltered valleys, where the snow is thinner and the wind less severe. A fortunate few find sanctuary in protected refuges where food is more plentiful and predation risk is lower. Yet even here the struggle for survival is relentless, as competition remains fierce and the cold unyielding. Predators too adapt their strategies. Wolves and coyotes patrol the snowy expanses, their keen senses attuned to the slightest sign of weakness. They often target the old, the young, or the infirm, relying on teamwork and endurance to wear down their prey. Even Yellowstone's rivers, lifelines for so many, are transformed. Ice forms thick barriers, restricting access to water and isolating aquatic life beneath a frozen ceiling. The surface becomes a solid sheet, cutting off sunlight and oxygen, challenging the survival of fish and invertebrates below. Yet, beneath the ice, life persists. Fish slow their metabolism, conserving energy in the cold, oxygen-poor water. Some species gather in deeper pools, where the temperature is more stable. The river otter, agile and resourceful, thrives in this environment. Its dense fur traps air for insulation, and its streamlined body allows it to slip effortlessly through icy currents. Otters exploit air pockets trapped beneath the ice, surfacing to breathe before diving again in pursuit of fish. Their sensitive whiskers detect the faintest vibrations, helping them locate prey in the murky depths. When an otter emerges with a catch, it must eat quickly, as the cold can freeze its meal within minutes. It often rolls in the snow to dry its fur and maintain its insulating layer. Overhead, bald eagles keep a vigilant watch. Unable to fish through the ice, they rely on their sharp eyesight to spot opportunities, sometimes swooping down to snatch a fish from an unsuspecting otter, a stark reminder that in Yellowstone's winter, every advantage is seized and every weakness exposed. Winter descends upon Yellowstone with a silent authority, transforming the vast wilderness into a realm of ice and shadow. The land is blanketed in deep snow, sculpted by relentless winds into sweeping drifts and crystalline cornices. Steam rises from geothermal vents, curling through the frigid air, and painting the horizon with ghostly plumes. In this frozen world, survival demands extraordinary adaptation. Wolves, with their dense, double-layered coats and powerful lungs, thrive where others falter. Their paws, broad and furred, act as natural snowshoes, allowing them to traverse the powdery landscape with ease. As the cold deepens and prey grows scarce, the wolf packs emerge as the undisputed rulers of winter. Their long legs propel them over drifts that mire their quarry, and their keen senses, sharpened by necessity, detect the faintest movement beneath the snow. Elk and bison, weakened by hunger and the relentless cold, become the focus of the wolves' coordinated hunts. Each pursuit is a test of endurance and strategy, a ballet of predator and prey, played out against a backdrop of white silence. For the legendary Druid Pack, a formidable group of 16, winter is both a challenge and an opportunity. The pack's unity is its strength, each member contributing to the hunt and the survival of the whole. In the heart of the blizzard, their howls echo across the valleys, a haunting anthem of resilience. When a hunt succeeds, the reward is shared. The wolves' teamwork is a masterclass in predatory coordination, allowing them to bring down a large elk roughly twice a week, enough to sustain the entire family through the leanest months. Even the scavengers, like ravens and foxes, benefit from the wolves' prowess, drawn to the feast by instinct and opportunity. Each hunt is a tense and dramatic affair, fraught with risk and uncertainty. The wolves move with silent purpose, reading the subtle cues of their quarry and the shifting winds that carry scent and sound. Sometimes the pack singles out a formidable bull elk, an adversary whose size and strength make it a perilous target, even in its weakened state. The confrontation is a contest of patience and nerve, each side probing for weakness. The wolves test their opponent, darting in and out, harrying it from all sides. They look for the slightest falter, the moment when exhaustion tips the balance. Sometimes desperation drives the elk to seek refuge in the icy embrace of a river. The freezing water forms a natural barrier, creating a tense stalemate between predator and prey. The wolves, wary of the biting current, hesitate at the edge. Hours may pass in this frozen standoff, a battle of wills played out beneath the pale winter sun. Even for Yellowstone's most skilled hunters, success is never assured. Hunger and fatigue are constant companions, and the cost of failure is high. Yet life within the pack is not defined solely by the hunt. Social bonds are reinforced through play, grooming, and the subtle language of dominance and submission. These rituals are vital, ensuring cohesion and stability in the harshest season. As February arrives, the air is charged with new tension. Mating season begins, and the pack's hierarchy is tested as rivals vie for the chance to pass on their genes. In one remarkable episode, a lone male, an outsider without a territory, begins to shadow the Druid Pack, drawn by the scent and presence of a young female. The female, bound by the pack's incest taboo, cannot mate with the alpha, her father. The outsider's arrival, offers a rare opportunity for new blood, a chance to strengthen the lineage. The pair meet in secret, their courtship a delicate dance of risk and desire. Against the odds, their union is successful, a testament to the powerful forces that shape life in the wild. Their secret is revealed when the alpha male stumbles upon them, still locked in the natural tie of wolf mating, a vulnerable moment that can last for half an hour. The pack's response is swift and furious. The intruder is driven off, but his daring has likely ensured the survival of his lineage. In the unforgiving winter, even outsiders can leave a lasting mark. In time, his pups will be born into the safety of the established pack, nurtured by a family not their own. Their playful yips and bounding energy bring hope to the frozen landscape. This extraordinary tale reveals the intricate balance of Yellowstone's winter, where adaptation, instinct, and the relentless drive for survival shape every life. Amid the biting cold and stark beauty, the story of the wolf endures, a living testament to the wild heart of the park. As the gentle embrace of summer recedes, Yellowstone is swept into a season of profound transformation and mounting tension. The air sharpens and the land itself seems to brace for the challenges ahead. The forests ignite in a final resplendent display, aspens and cottonwoods shimmer in gold and orange, their leaves a fleeting spectacle before the inevitable fall. This vibrant palette masks the urgency that pulses beneath the surface. Autumn in Yellowstone is not merely a time of beauty, but a crucible of survival. Every creature, from the smallest rodent to the largest predator, is drawn into a web of preparation, competition and conflict. Herbivores such as elk and bison graze relentlessly, driven by the imperative to amass fat reserves. Each mouthful of grass is a calculated investment against the scarcity of winter, and the pressure to feed grows as the days shorten. Yet for many, the season is defined by more than hunger. The rut brings a surge of primal energy, an urgent, sometimes violent contest for dominance and the right to breed. Bull elk, fueled by hormonal tides, become both architects and warriors. Their haunting bugles pierce the crisp air, signaling both challenge and intent, as they vie for control over harems of females. The elk rut is a spectacle of raw power and strategy. Dominant bulls marshal their harems, constantly vigilant for rivals, while younger males linger at the periphery, waiting for a chance to challenge. For weeks, valleys resonate with the bugling of bulls, their calls echoing from dawn to dusk. Each note is both a warning and a declaration, a testament to the relentless drive of nature. These massive animals, weighing hundreds of kilograms, forsake food and rest, pouring every ounce of energy into defending their harems. The cost is immense, leaving them gaunt and weary as the season progresses. When a challenger approaches, the tension is palpable. The outcome of these confrontations can alter the fate of entire herds. Bulls posture and bugle, sizing each other up in a ritual of intimidation. If neither yields, the contest escalates to a violent clash. Antlers collide with thunderous force, each shove a test of strength and endurance. The victor claims the harem, while the defeated is left battered and depleted. For the winner, the reward is the chance to sire the next generation, his genes carried forward by the calves born in spring. For the vanquished, the consequences are dire. Wounds from battle and the loss of precious fat reserves leave them vulnerable to the elements and to predators. Exhausted and often injured, these bulls face the encroaching winter in a perilous state. Their weakened bodies are easy targets for Yellowstone's ever-watchful predators. The energy spent in battle is energy not stored for survival. As snow begins to fall, the struggle for life intensifies. Many defeated bulls succumb to the cold or fall prey to wolves and bears, their autumn glory fading into the silence of winter. Each carcass becomes a vital resource, sustaining scavengers and predators alike through the lean months. High above, on the wind-lashed slopes, another drama unfolds. Here, the bighorn sheep face their own season of strife, where survival is measured in both strength and sure-footedness. Bighorn sheep, masters of the cliffs, endure biting winds and thin air. Their lives are a constant negotiation with gravity and the ever-present threat of mountain lions. During the rut, rams engage in ritualized combat, each seeking to prove his worth. The stakes are high, as only the strongest will earn the right to mate. With astonishing speed, rams charge and collide, their horns crashing together in a contest that echoes across the mountains. These battles are as much about endurance as they are about brute force. Their skulls are marvels of natural engineering, reinforced to absorb the shock of repeated impacts. Even so, injuries are common, and the cost of defeat can be fatal in the harsh alpine environment. As autumn wanes, the defeated rams retreat, battered and weary, while the victors claim their prize. The echoes of their battles fade, replaced by the hush of falling snow, a signal that Yellowstone's season of strife has given way to the long, unforgiving winter. Throughout the valleys and forests, predators seize their moment. Wolf packs, sensing the vulnerability of weakened elk and bison, coordinate hunts with precision, their survival intertwined with the fortunes of their prey. Grizzly bears, too, exploit the season's turmoil. They scavenge carcasses left by the rut and hunt for any opportunity to fatten up before hibernation. Their presence a constant threat to the unwary. Even the smaller predators, like coyotes, intensify their efforts, hunting rodents and scavenging remains, each adapting to the shifting balance of power as the ecosystem braces for winter's grip. Scavenger birds, such as ravens and magpies, descend upon the aftermath of these struggles, their keen eyes and sharp beaks ensuring that nothing goes to waste in this intricate cycle of life and death. As frost settles on the grass and the first snow dusts the valleys, Yellowstone's inhabitants face the culmination of their autumn trials. Every struggle, every conflict, is a testament to the resilience demanded by this wild and unforgiving land. In the intricate waterways of Yellowstone, a remarkable creature quietly shapes the land, its influence rivaled only by the relentless forces of wind and water. The beaver, a true architect of the wild, transforms the landscape with every movement and decision. With an instinctive mastery of engineering, beavers orchestrate the flow of rivers and streams. Their construction begins with the careful selection of branches and saplings, which they expertly gnaw and transport, assembling them into sturdy frameworks that will soon alter the course of water itself. Their powerful incisors, ever-growing and razor-sharp, allow them to fell trees many times their own size. Each tree is chosen with purpose, its placement in the dam or lodge calculated to maximize strength and stability. The beaver's dam is a marvel of natural engineering. Logs, branches, and mud are woven together to create barriers that slow rushing water, transforming narrow streams into expansive, tranquil ponds. At the heart of these ponds, beavers construct lodges, domed sanctuaries built from interlaced sticks and sealed with mud. The lodge's underwater entrance is a masterstroke, granting the beaver family safe passage beneath the surface, hidden from prowling predators. Each dam and lodge becomes the nucleus of a thriving ecosystem. The newly formed wetlands nurture a mosaic of habitats, supporting a diversity of life that would not exist without the beaver's intervention. Moose wade through the shallows, drawn by the abundance of aquatic plants. Ducks, herons, and songbirds nest and feed along the pond's edge, while amphibians find refuge in the cool, still waters. The beaver's handiwork encourages the growth of lush aquatic vegetation, rich in nutrients and essential for herbivores like moose. These plants, thriving in the calm water, form the foundation of a complex food web. Beneath the surface, fish flourish in the deeper, oxygen-rich pools. Frogs and salamanders breed in the protected shallows, while dragonflies and other insects dance above the water, their larvae feeding countless birds. The beaver's presence radiates outward, shaping the destinies of countless species. As a keystone species, its construction activities underpin the health and diversity of the entire ecosystem. The ripple effect of their work is profound. Each dam and pond supports a tapestry of life, from the smallest insect to the largest mammal, weaving together a vibrant community. These wetlands stand as lush oases, brimming with vitality amid the broader wilderness. The beaver's legacy is written in every green shoot and every ripple across the pond's surface. As autumn approaches, beaver families embark on a season of intense preparation. Each member plays a role, gathering and storing food to ensure survival through the long, frozen months ahead. They harvest branches and saplings, dragging them through the water with remarkable determination. These stores are not only building materials but also a vital food source for the winter. Ingeniously, beavers create underwater food caches, collections of branches anchored in the mud near their lodges, accessible even when the pond is sealed by ice. Hundreds of sticks are wedged into the pond bottom, forming a submerged pantry that remains unfrozen and within easy reach during the harshest winter days. When winter's grip tightens and the world above is locked in ice, beavers navigate their underwater realm, sustained by the foresight of their autumn labor. Their resilience and industriousness are on full display as they maintain their lodges and dams even in the depths of winter, ensuring the survival of their family and the stability of their habitat. Yet the life of a beaver is fraught with challenges. Floods, droughts, and predators test their ingenuity and resolve at every turn. Yellowstone's rivers are ever-changing, and beavers must constantly adapt their constructions to shifting water levels and unpredictable weather. In times of drought, receding waters can expose their lodges, stripping away the protective moat and leaving the family vulnerable to danger. The hidden entrances, once shielded by deep water, become visible, and the safety of the young kits is suddenly at risk from opportunistic predators. In these moments, beaver families display remarkable courage and adaptability, sometimes undertaking perilous journeys to relocate to safer lodges, guided by the matriarch's experience and resolve. The story of Yellowstone's beavers is one of constant innovation and adaptation. Their unique construction behaviors and ecological impacts echo through the landscape, ensuring that the wild heart of Yellowstone continues to beat strong season after season. As winter's icy grip loosens, Yellowstone awakens in a gradual, breathtaking transformation. Spring does not burst forth in a single moment, but rather unfolds in a symphony of subtle changes, each one building upon the last. The first signs of renewal are delicate, crystalline droplets of snowmelt tracing paths down the rough bark of lodgepole pines, while the rivers, once locked in silence, begin to murmur as the ice recedes. Each day the sun climbs higher, its rays stretching further across the land, coaxing the meadows from their frozen slumber and infusing the air with gentle warmth. Beneath the retreating snow, the earth stirs. Brown grasses, flattened by months of cold, are revealed, and the first emerald shoots pierce the surface, signaling the start of a new growing season. This gentle thaw sets off a chain reaction throughout the ecosystem. Bears, groggy from hibernation, lumber from their dens, while the sky fills with the calls of migratory birds returning from distant wintering grounds, their journeys guided by ancient instincts. Across the valleys and hillsides, wildflowers erupt in a riot of color, lupines, glacier lilies, and shooting stars, painting the landscape with vibrant hues, each blossom a testament to the resilience of life. The season's promise is fulfilled in the meadows, where a surge of new life emerges. Bison and elk calves, still unsteady on their legs, cluster together in the safety of the herd, their arrival timed to coincide with the abundance of fresh forage. The meadows, now lush with tender shoots, provide a banquet for grazers. Herds move in synchrony, their movements shaping the very landscape as they feed, trample, and fertilize the soil, fostering further regrowth. Among the bison, the arrival of reddish-brown calves, affectionately known as red dogs, is a celebrated sign of spring. These youngsters rarely stray far from their mothers, learning the rhythms of the herd and the dangers of the open plain. pronghorn antelope, North America's swiftest land mammals, give birth to twins, carefully concealing them in the sagebrush. Here the newborns remain hidden, their spotted coats blending seamlessly with the dappled light. In the forests and along the riverbanks, elk calves, bear cubs, and wolf pups take their first tentative steps. Each movement is a lesson in survival, as they explore a world brimming with opportunity and risk. The park pulses with vitality. Everywhere, creatures are on the move, feeding, nesting, and raising their young, each species playing a role in the intricate web of Yellowstone's rebirth. Yet this season of abundance is shadowed by peril. The youngest and weakest are exposed, their vulnerability a stark reminder of nature's unforgiving balance. Predators, ever watchful, seize the opportunities that spring provides. Wolves and coyotes prowl the edges of herds, their senses attuned to the faintest sign of weakness or separation. Coyotes, masters of patience and cunning, shadow the bison, waiting for a moment when a calf wanders too far from its mother's protective side. For many young bison, the first weeks are a gauntlet. Nearly a quarter will not survive, their fate woven into the fabric of the ecosystem, sustaining others in the cycle of life. Wolf packs with pups hidden deep within their dens hunt tirelessly. Every successful chase means nourishment for their growing families, reinforcing the delicate balance between predator and prey. The landscape is alive with tension and anticipation. Every creature, from the smallest vole to the largest elk, is alert. Each moment a test of instinct and adaptation. High above, the drama continues in the treetops. Birds return to ancient nesting sites, weaving intricate homes among the branches, their songs echoing the promise of new beginnings. For the great horned owls, spring marks the fledgling season. Adults stand sentinel as their young prepare for the daunting leap from the safety of the nest. The owlets, cloaked in downy feathers, peer over the edge, their wide eyes reflecting both curiosity and apprehension at the world below. Soon their parents will cease to bring food, compelling the young to summon their courage and take flight, propelled by necessity and instinct. The first attempt is rarely elegant, a clumsy tumble to a lower branch or the forest floor, but it is the beginning of independence. Across Yellowstone, fledglings and young mammals alike face similar trials, each step or flutter a vital lesson in the art of survival. They must master the skills of flight, hunting, and evasion, for only the most adept will thrive in this wild, ever-changing landscape. In this World Reborn, every young creature's journey is a testament to resilience. Yellowstone's renewal is not merely a return to life, but a profound recovery, an intricate dance of regrowth, migration, and adaptation that sustains the heart of the wild. Summer in Yellowstone bursts forth in a dazzling display of life and color, as the park transforms into a living tapestry woven from sunlight, water, and the relentless energy of growth. Across rolling meadows, wildflowers erupt in a kaleidoscope of hues. Crimson Indian paintbrush, golden arnica, and delicate blue lupine blanket the ground, their petals shimmering in the warm breeze. Each blossom competes for the attention of pollinators, creating a vibrant mosaic that stretches as far as the eye can see. Herds of bison and elk graze contentedly, their coats sleek and shining in the sun. Calves and young bison frolic among the grasses, learning to navigate the world under the watchful gaze of their mothers. The meadows become a banquet hall where every mouthful is rich with the nutrients of new growth. Above the riot of color, the iridescent flash of a calliope hummingbird signals the arrival of migratory guests. These tiny marvels, weighing less than a nickel, dart from blossom to blossom, their wings a blur as they sip nectar and pollinate the next generation of wildflowers. Rivers, now liberated from winter's icy grip, surge with crystal-clear water. Otters twist and tumble in playful pursuit of trout, while ospreys hover high above, then plunge with precision to snatch fish from the surface. The waterways pulse with energy, sustaining a complex web of life. Yet, beneath this abundance, summer harbors a volatile force, fire. Wisps of smoke spiral skyward as flames consume the undergrowth, reshaping the forest in a matter of hours. Lightning storms crackle across the horizon, their electric fingers igniting dry timber and brush. Wildfires roar through the woods, their heat and fury both destructive and transformative. The aftermath can seem apocalyptic, vast swathes of charred earth and skeletal trees, as witnessed in the legendary fires of 1988. Yet these blazes are nature's architects, clearing space for renewal and diversity. Sunlight, once blocked by dense canopies, now pours through blackened trunks, awakening dormant seeds and encouraging a flush of new growth. The nutrient-rich ash left behind acts as a natural fertilizer, infusing the soil with minerals essential for the next generation of plants. From the scorched earth, emerald shoots push upward with astonishing speed, signaling the resilience and adaptability of Yellowstone's flora. Fireweed, with its vivid pink blossoms, is often the first to reclaim the land, carpeting the blackened ground and offering nectar to hummingbirds and bees alike. The rivers, winding through this revitalized landscape, become bustling corridors of activity, drawing creatures from every corner of the park. Insects emerge in staggering numbers. Clouds of salmonflies and mayflies rise above the water, their brief adult lives dedicated to a frenzied dance of mating and egg-laying. Native cutthroat trout seize this fleeting opportunity, surging upstream in shimmering schools to reach their ancestral spawning grounds, their bodies flashing silver and gold beneath the surface. Along the banks, grizzly bears wade into the shallows, their massive paws scooping up fish, while bald eagles swoop down to snatch their share. Coyotes, otters, and even ravens join the feast, each species playing its part in this seasonal spectacle. Every interaction, predator and prey, pollinator and flower, forms a vital link in Yellowstone's intricate food web, where the fortunes of one species ripple outward to affect countless others. Yet even in this season of plenty, survival is never guaranteed. High in the alpine meadows, the diminutive pika emerges from its rocky refuge, ever alert to the challenges of summer. With keen senses and boundless energy, the pika scurries among wildflowers and stones, gathering mouthfuls of grasses and blooms to sustain it through the coming winter. Instead of hibernating, these industrious creatures spend every daylight hour harvesting and stacking vegetation, constructing hay piles that will become their lifeline beneath the snow. Their dense fur, a shield against winter's chill, becomes a liability in the summer heat, forcing them to seek shade and rest between foraging bouts. Each trip into the open is a calculated risk, as the pika must balance the urgent need to gather food with the ever-present danger of overheating, a delicate dance dictated by the rhythms of the sun. As the days grow shorter, the pika's haystacks stand as monuments to its tireless labor, a testament to the intricate strategies that allow life to flourish, even in Yellowstone's wild and unpredictable summer. The intricate web of life in Yellowstone is revealed in countless subtle exchanges, each animal, plant, and even microbe playing a role in a vast, interconnected system. Here, food is not simply consumed, it is transferred, transformed, and recycled, ensuring that nothing is wasted and every resource is maximized. Every death, whether from predation, starvation, or accident, becomes a source of life for a multitude of organisms. Insects and microbes are the first to arrive, breaking down flesh and bone, setting the stage for larger scavengers. This cycle of consumption and renewal is the engine that drives the ecosystem. Energy flows from the mightiest predator to the tiniest decomposer, linking wolves, bears, coyotes, foxes, pine martens, and even the unseen world beneath the soil. A successful wolf hunt is more than a meal for the pack. The tension between predator and prey shapes the very landscape. As elk herds alter their grazing patterns to avoid danger, allowing willows and aspens to regenerate in their absence. The aftermath of a kill draws a diverse assembly: coyotes, ravens, magpies, and even weasels, each species waiting for its opportunity, each interaction governed by a delicate hierarchy and a keen sense of timing. When a wolf pack brings down an elk, the news spreads rapidly through the forest. Ravens, with their sharp intelligence, act as both sentinels and messengers, calling out to others, and sometimes even leading larger predators to the site. Coyotes, ever opportunistic, linger at the periphery, reading the body language of wolves and waiting for the precise moment to dart in and claim a morsel. Their yips and howls echo across the valley, signaling both excitement and caution, while younger coyotes learn the subtle art of scavenging from their elders. Above, bald and golden eagles circle with patience and precision, their keen eyesight allowing them to spot opportunities from great distances. They wait for the dominant predators to finish before descending to claim their share. Ravens, bold and clever, gather in raucous flocks, sometimes outwitting larger animals to snatch a quick bite. Other birds, like Clark's nutcrackers and jays, join the fray, each species exploiting a unique niche. This community of scavengers is essential, stripping a carcass clean and returning vital nutrients to the soil. Even after the visible feast ends, beetles and ants continue the work, ensuring that every trace is recycled. The most formidable scavenger is the grizzly bear, whose presence can shift the entire dynamic at a kill site. Yet grizzlies are also foragers, digging for roots and tubers, and their diet reflects the seasonal abundance of Yellowstone. Guided by an extraordinary sense of smell, a grizzly can detect a carcass from miles away, navigating dense forests and open valleys with unwavering determination. In spring, as ice recedes from rivers and lakes, bears may uncover bison or elk that perished in winter, their bodies preserved in the cold. These discoveries are rare windfalls, providing a crucial energy boost after months of hibernation. Such finds are fiercely contested. A bear's dominance is rarely challenged, but wolves may test the boundaries, leading to tense standoffs that reveal the complex negotiations of Yellowstone's food web. When a grizzly arrives, wolves often yield, retreating to a safe distance. Yet they remain vigilant, ready to reclaim what they can once the bear departs. The bear's immense size and power place it at the apex of the scavenger hierarchy, but even it must share the bounty with a host of patient onlookers, each waiting for their moment. This delicate balance is in constant flux, shaped by shifting seasons, unpredictable weather, and the ever-present possibility of change. When one element shifts, be it a population boom, a harsh winter, or an early thaw, the effects ripple outward, touching every species, from amphibians emerging in vernal pools to apex predators at the top of the chain. An unusually early snowmelt can trigger the cutthroat trout's spawning migration weeks ahead of schedule, altering the availability of food for countless species, from aquatic insects to river otters and birds of prey. Ospreys, whose nesting cycles are finely tuned to the trout's arrival, may find their chicks hungry and the rivers suddenly empty, a subtle mismatch with profound consequences. These shifts demand constant adaptation. Moose may move to higher ground, amphibians may breed earlier, and birds may alter their migration routes, all in response to the ever-changing rhythms of Yellowstone. Across the seasons, Yellowstone's animals display remarkable resilience and ingenuity, from red squirrels caching pine cones for winter to amphibians timing their emergence with spring rains. Each species is a testament to the park's dynamic, fragile, and endlessly fascinating balance. In the heart of Yellowstone, every sunrise marks the beginning of a new struggle, a fresh chapter in a relentless tale of survival. Here, the land is both a sanctuary and a crucible, forging creatures of remarkable endurance and adaptability. The seasons sweep across the park with dramatic force. Winter's icy grip transforms the valleys into silent, snowbound arenas, while summer breathes life into meadows bursting with color and sound. Each transition brings its own set of challenges, demanding constant vigilance and ingenuity from Yellowstone's inhabitants. Bison, with their massive frames and shaggy coats, plow through deep drifts in search of buried grasses, their breath steaming in the frigid air. Elk gather in herds, their senses sharpened against lurking predators, while pronghorn antelope rely on speed and keen eyesight to evade danger. In the face of blizzards and biting winds, these animals draw upon ancient instincts. Bison huddle together for warmth, wolves move as a coordinated unit, and all endure the elements with a quiet, unyielding strength. The bison's stoic endurance is legendary, weathering storms that would break lesser creatures. Wolves, ever resourceful, rely on intricate social bonds and strategic cooperation to bring down prey many times their size. Beavers, the architects of Yellowstone's waterways, transform streams with their dams, creating vital wetlands that shelter countless species. Each animal, from the largest bison to the smallest vole, plays a role in this grand design, their survival stories woven into the fabric of the ecosystem. Autumn brings fierce contests. Bull elk clash antlers in thunderous battles for dominance, while bighorn sheep scale perilous cliffs to spar for the right to breed. These displays of strength and determination ensure the continuation of their lineages, echoing the primal rhythms of the wild. Spring's arrival is marked by fragile beginnings. Newborn calves, unsteady on their legs, must quickly learn to navigate a world fraught with peril. Mothers stand vigilant, fiercely protective, knowing that only the most resilient will survive. The red fox, a master of stealth and patience, listens intently for the faintest movement beneath the snow. With a sudden leap, it breaks through the icy crust, seizing a hidden vole, a testament to the ingenuity required to thrive in this demanding environment. Across the valleys, herds of bison, elk, and pronghorn move in a delicate balance, their lives intertwined by the pursuit of food, water, and safety. Each species depends on the others, forming a living network that strengthens the ecosystem as a whole. The rhythm of the seasons dictates every action: migration, breeding, feeding, and sheltering. Survival hinges on timing and adaptability, as animals must anticipate the shifting availability of resources and the ever-present threat of predators. Yet Yellowstone's resilience is constantly tested by forces beyond its ancient cycles. Subtle changes in temperature can disrupt the blooming of wildflowers, leaving hummingbirds searching for nourishment where once there was abundance. The timing of fish migrations shifts, challenging cutthroat trout as they journey upstream to spawn, their fate intertwined with the health of the rivers and the creatures that depend on them. High in the alpine tundra, pikas gather grasses and flowers, racing against the shortening summer. Even the smallest changes in climate threaten their survival, as these high-altitude specialists are finely tuned to their environment. The adaptability of Yellowstone's wildlife is a testament to evolutionary ingenuity. Each animal, plant, and microbe has found a niche, a way to persist through adversity, contributing to the park's remarkable biodiversity. But the challenges are mounting. Winters grow unpredictable, and wildfires rage with increasing intensity, reshaping habitats and testing the limits of adaptation. Through blizzards and smoky haze, the determination etched on the faces of Yellowstone's animals reveals a spirit forged by hardship and hope. Yet even the most resilient have limits. The lone wolf, the aging bison, the fading tracks in the snow, all remind us that survival is never guaranteed. To witness Yellowstone is to glimpse the raw essence of nature's will to endure. The park is a living laboratory where evolution unfolds before our eyes. Geysers erupt beside grazing bison, and life flourishes in the most unlikely places, revealing the astonishing adaptability of nature. Predator and prey, scavenger and engineer, each plays a role in maintaining the balance. The strength of the ecosystem lies in these connections, in the constant interplay of competition and cooperation. Herds cross rivers and plains, braving swift currents and rugged terrain, driven by instinct and necessity. Their journeys are stories of courage and endurance, written across the landscape. As dusk falls over the Lamar Valley, golden light stretches across the plains, casting long shadows that hint at the mysteries of the wild. The great herds graze in quiet determination, their presence a living testament to the power of persistence. In the distance, the haunting call of a wolf rises on the evening breeze, echoing the ancient drama that has played out here for millennia. Yellowstone endures, a wild, resilient heart beating at the center of nature's grandest stage. Its story is one of strength, adaptation, and the unbreakable will to survive, inspiring awe in all who bear witness. Beneath Yellowstone's sweeping plains and forested slopes lies a restless world, unseen yet ever present, a world sculpted by fire, water, and time. This is the realm of geothermal wonders, where the earth breathes and pulses with energy drawn from deep within its core. Here, boiling springs bubble up from fractured ground, their surfaces swirling with vibrant hues of turquoise, emerald, and gold. Each color is a signature, painted by heat-loving microbes that thrive where few others can endure. These microorganisms, called thermophiles, form living tapestries around the edges of pools, their colonies shifting with the changing temperatures and mineral flows. Geysers, the park's most famous sentinels, wait in silence, their underground chambers filling with superheated water. With sudden, breathtaking force, they erupt skyward in columns of steam and spray, a display of nature's raw power and precision. Old Faithful, the most iconic, rises on schedule, but hundreds of lesser-known geysers simmer and spout in unpredictable rhythms, their eruptions echoing the deep workings of the earth. Mud pots bubble and churn, thick with volcanic clay and minerals. Acidic waters dissolve the bedrock, creating pools of grey and ochre that blur the line between liquid and solid. Fumaroles hiss and roar, venting clouds of steam and gases into the chilly air. The scent of sulphur hangs heavy, a reminder of the volatile forces at play just below the surface. Even in the harshest winters, these geothermal features hold back the snow, creating warm oases where life gathers. Bison linger on the sunlit edges of hot springs, their breath mingling with the rising mist. Insects and hardy plants take root in the thawed soil, forming microhabitats that defy the freezing world around them. Beneath it all, the Yellowstone caldera simmers, a vast, ancient volcano whose presence shapes every feature of the landscape. Tremors ripple through the ground, subtle reminders of the immense energy stored below. Over millennia, eruptions and upheavals have carved the park's valleys and ridges, leaving behind a patchwork of hot springs, geysers, and fumaroles. This geothermal heart sustains more than just the land. It drives the cycles of renewal and change, forging habitats that challenge and nurture the life above. In this extraordinary place, the living earth is always in motion, a force as unpredictable as it is awe-inspiring. Yellowstone's geothermal wonders are a testament to the park's wild spirit, a reminder that beneath the surface, the story of survival continues, written in steam and stone. Beneath the shimmering surfaces of Yellowstone's rivers and lakes, another world stirs, a realm shaped not by fire but by water in constant, tireless motion. Here the currents weave through ancient channels, carrying life and sustenance from snow-capped peaks to distant valleys. The clear, cold waters of the Yellowstone River cut through volcanic rock, winding past forests and meadows, creating a dynamic habitat for countless species. Hidden in the shadows of submerged logs and stony crevices, native cutthroat trout glide with practiced grace. Their speckled forms flash gold and rose in the dappled light, perfectly adapted to the swift, oxygen-rich streams. In the deeper lakes, lake trout, both native and invasive, compete for territory, their silent rivalry shaping the balance of aquatic life. Along the pebbled shallows, schools of minnows dart in synchronized patterns, evading the watchful gaze of herons and kingfishers perched above. The aquatic web extends beyond fish. In the still, sunlit margins, dragonfly larvae lurk in the silt, poised to ambush unsuspecting prey. Caddisfly larvae construct intricate homes from tiny stones and twigs, their cases blending seamlessly with the riverbed. Mayflies rise in great clouds each spring, their brief lives fueling a feast for trout and birds alike, an ancient cycle of emergence, flight, and renewal. Every drop of water is alive with microscopic drama. Algae and diatoms form the foundation of the food chain, their blooms coloring the stones with a slippery green sheen. These tiny producers harness sunlight, powering the ecosystem from the ground up. In the cool depths, crayfish scuttle among the rocks, recycling detritus and aerating the mud. Amphibians, frogs and salamanders find refuge in quiet pools, their eggs clinging to submerged reeds, vulnerable to the changing flows. The rivers themselves are restless architects, sculpting the landscape and forging new habitats. Spring floods reshape the banks, depositing rich sediments that nourish riparian plants. Willows and cottonwoods send roots deep into the moist soil, stabilizing the edges and providing shelter for nesting birds. Beavers, master engineers, fell trees and build dams, creating ponds that slow the current and expand the mosaic of aquatic life. Even as geothermal springs warm certain stretches, creating ice-free sanctuaries in winter, the rivers pulse with the rhythms of the seasons. As snowmelt surges in spring, the waters swell and run cold, awakening dormant seeds and stirring fish to spawn. In the quiet of late summer, water levels drop, revealing gravel beds where eggs are hidden and young fish find shelter. This intricate web of aquatic life is ever-changing, delicately balanced between the forces of geology, climate, and time. In Yellowstone's rivers and lakes, the story of survival flows on, quiet, persistent, and vital, sustaining the wild heart of the park with every passing current. Beneath the grand landscape and swirling rivers, an unseen world thrives, one that shapes Yellowstone in ways few ever witness. Here, in the damp soil, bubbling hot springs, and decaying logs, microscopic architects labor in silence. Bacteria, fungi, and a myriad of single-celled organisms work ceaselessly, orchestrating the cycles of life from the shadows. Deep within the park's ancient forests, networks of fungal threads, mycorrhizae, intertwine with tree roots, forming hidden alliances. These fungi ferry nutrients and water between trees, strengthening the forest against drought and disease. Some species, like the ghostly white snow mold, break down fallen needles and leaves, returning vital elements to the soil. In the steaming cauldrons of Yellowstone's geothermal springs, extremorphal bacteria flourish where few others can survive. These heat-loving microbes paint the pools with brilliant hues, fiery orange, vivid green, golden yellow, each color marking a different species, each thriving at a unique temperature. Some, like Thermus aquaticus, hold secrets that have revolutionized science, their enzymes powering breakthroughs in DNA research. Everywhere, unseen decomposers break down the dead, recycling nutrients and purifying the air and water. Actinobacteria release earthy scents as they convert organic matter into fertile ground. Slime molds pulse and creep across rotting logs, consuming bacteria and shaping the microlandscapes within Yellowstone's forests. Even the air is alive with invisible travelers. Fungal spores drift on the wind, while bacterial cells hitch rides on dust and water droplets. These minute voyagers colonize new habitats, sparking fresh cycles of growth and decay. In the ponds and marshes, protozoa and rotifers swirl in the water, feeding on algae and each other. Their microscopic dramas ripple outward, supporting larger life, tiny links in a vast unseen chain. Though invisible to the naked eye, these microscopic communities are the true engineers of Yellowstone. They build soil, recycle life, and drive the chemical processes that sustain every plant and animal in the park. Without them, the visible wonders of Yellowstone, the forests, rivers, and wildlife, could not endure. In the secret depths of the living earth, the smallest forms of life shape the fate of the wild, reminding us that every world, no matter how grand, is built upon the invisible. As the seasons turn, Yellowstone becomes a stage for one of nature's greatest spectacles, the migration. Across sweeping valleys and rugged peaks, countless animals embark on epic journeys, guided by ancient instincts and the rhythm of the changing earth. In the crisp dawn of spring, herds of pronghorn gather on the sagebrush plains. Their slender legs carry them over 100 miles, weaving through snowmelt streams and grasslands in search of tender shoots. Alongside them, mule deer retrace ancestral paths, threading through forests and meadows, each step echoing the migrations of generations past. Above, the sky stirs with wing beats. Flocks of sandhill cranes, their calls echoing like trumpets, glide northward in graceful formation. Warblers and swallows arrive from distant tropics, their vibrant feathers a flash of color against budding trees. Each species follows a unique route, guided by the sun, the stars, and the subtle cues of the landscape. In the high country, elk emerge from the shelter of winter forests. Their journey is arduous, climbing steep ridges, fording icy rivers, braving unpredictable weather. Calves, barely steady on their legs, follow their mothers into the alpine meadows, where the snow retreats and fresh grass beckons. Grizzly bears, awakened from hibernation, shadow these migrations, following the scent of opportunity. Wolves, too, move with the herds, their presence shaping the flow of life across the land. As summer wanes, the pattern reverses. Birds gather in restless flocks, fueling up on berries and insects before launching south on wings of determination. Bison and elk drift down from the mountains, seeking shelter in the lower valleys where winter's grip is less severe. Each migration is a test of endurance, a journey through storms, across swollen rivers, and past lurking predators. Yet these movements are vital. They spread seeds, fertilize prairies, and knit together the vast web of Yellowstone's life. In every season, the pulse of migration beats strong and sure, connecting forests, grasslands, and rivers in a living tapestry. Here, in the heart of the wild, the travelers of Yellowstone write their story on the land, one step, one wing beat at a time. In Yellowstone, even destruction is an architect. Fire, once feared as an enemy, now reveals itself as a force of creation, shaping the land in ways both subtle and profound. Lightning cracks the summer sky, igniting dry grasses and fallen timber. Flames race across the forest floor, consuming the old and the brittle, painting the landscape in hues of orange and black. But beneath the smoke and ash, life waits. Lodgepole pine cones, sealed tight by resin, burst open in the heat, scattering seeds onto the charred earth. Grasses and wildflowers, their roots shielded underground, awaken as the first rains fall, sending green shoots through the soot. In the aftermath, a mosaic emerges. Blackened trunks stand as silent sentinels among carpets of wildflowers and young saplings. Elk and bison graze on fresh, nutrient-rich growth, while woodpeckers and bluebirds flock to the standing snags, feasting on insects drawn to the newly exposed wood. Fire is not alone in its transformative touch. Floods, windstorms, and landslides also shape the terrain, toppling trees and redirecting streams. Each disturbance, though seemingly chaotic, opens new chapters in Yellowstone's story. Aspen groves spring up in the wake of fallen forests. Willow thickets thrive along reshaped riverbanks, offering shelter to songbirds and beavers alike. These natural upheavals are not ends, but beginnings. They reset the clock of the ecosystem, clearing space for pioneers and restoring balance where stagnation once crept in. Through fire and flood, Yellowstone renews itself again and again, ensuring that life, in all its forms, continues to flourish in a cycle as old as the earth itself. As daylight fades and the last golden rays slip behind the mountains, Yellowstone transforms. A hush settles over the land, broken only by the chorus of night. In this shadowed world, a new cast of characters emerges, creatures adapted to darkness, moving with a grace and purpose hidden from the sunlit hours. Beneath the towering pines, the great horned owl perches in silence, its keen eyes attuned to the faintest rustle below. With the silent beat of its wings, it glides through the trees, a ghostly hunter searching for mice and voles scurrying in the undergrowth. Farther out in the meadows, packs of grey wolves melt into the gloom, their howls echoing across the valleys, a haunting call that knits the wild together. The night belongs to the small and secretive as well. Badgers dig in sandy soil, unearthing burrows in search of sleeping prey. Tiny deer mice dart between stones, their large eyes reflecting the faintest starlight. Even the rivers pulse with life. Beavers work tirelessly under the moon, dragging branches to reinforce their lodges, while river otters slip through the current, chasing fish that shimmer just beneath the surface. Above it all, the sky unfurls in a spectacle of its own. Free from city lights, the heavens blaze with stars, millions of pinpricks illuminating the darkness. The Milky Way stretches from horizon to horizon, while meteors occasionally streak overhead, casting fleeting shadows on the land below. In the geothermal basins, steam rises in ghostly columns, glowing faintly in the moonlight and adding an otherworldly veil to the landscape. Sometimes a rare and silent visitor appears, the northern lights. Ribbons of green and violet ripple across the sky, painting the night in colours that defy imagination. Beneath this celestial display, Yellowstone's nocturnal world continues its ancient rhythms, hunting, hiding and thriving in the cool embrace of darkness. Each night the park is reborn. Life pulses quietly in the shadows, guided by instincts honed over countless generations. While the sun rules the day, the night belongs to those who find their strength in mystery, reminding us that Yellowstone's wonders never truly sleep.